Science jerks. Science jerks. Science jerks. The rate of change in acceleration of science.
Welcome to the Science Jerks. I'm your host, Dave Chacho, and with me is your other host, Robert Chen.
Hi.
And we're back for another exciting episode with Ben Zelevansky.
Hello, fellas.
Sure.
How do you feel after surviving one episode of the Science Jerks?
I feel proud. I feel dumb.
Proud, as your people are?
Yes, we are a proud people.
You're proud people, whatever they are, they're proud, yeah. I'm sure.
That's the go-to dialogue for it when you're meeting any new society. We are a proud people.
Yeah, you're very proud people. Now give me your stuff.
Here on planet Zorlok, we are a proud people.
Wait a minute. You said you came from the Mittelblick dimension. You liar!
Oh,
Liar!
Don't say it backwards. Don't say it backwards.
Neb Zelevansky.
Level skim.
I'm melting? Is that what No, I'm
Sure, yeah.
being sucked through a wormhole.
Just play
Superman.
the tape backwards, and that'll be Zelevansky.
Oh,
I don't
no.
know.
There it goes.
What's your science background, Ben? You got any history? But not history.
Let's go back to pre-college. The answer is I have no science background other than what was required by the state.
Did you like science when you were taking it?
When
you were a kid?
Yeah, it depended on the teacher. I had some really great science teachers, and some that I didn't care for as much. You know, because a good teacher can make anything engaging, even if it's not your speed. But I think maybe the very last science class I ever took was actually in college. I went to film school, and there was like something, like an obligatory, you had to take like a half a credit of science or something to get through film school without embarrassing the program.
You had to take a class, but you could leave halfway through the.
I think so. Yeah, you only had to get half effort.
I'm a film student, so I'm just going to take off. Seems like about halfway through,
right in the middle. I mean, I would do that. I just wouldn't announce it.
Name some symbols on this periodic table. H, cool. Take off. You're fine.
That's my favorite, right up top. Hydrogen. This class was called, and I thought it would be useful for filmmaking, but it was called Light and Color in Nature and Art, and it sounds great, right? Mm-hmm. It was a lot of like hardcore optics and like a lot of refracting of things and prisms and lasers and
you showed up with like flip flops and lemonade and some blotter acid.
Just the history of ice cream.
Like, are we gonna get to the art soon? Is there any art in this?
Let's look at some colors, everybody.
Yeah. It was, I don't know how, it was really like, and I had a couple of friends, I think maybe a group of film friends were all like, oh yeah, so this is like the blow-off class that you take to get your science credit, and I blocked out most of it.
Oh, did you pass though?
You blacked out.
I did a lot of blacking out. That may have been the lasers, maybe an errant laser, and I blacked out. But I think I'm pretty sure I passed it.
That's good enough.
Maybe, I'm not sure. I don't know how, but I think I must not have completely failed it. Let's leave it at that. Can't dig up these old.
The gentleman's F. That's fine.
That's right. That's my favorite kind.
Let's do some science.
Precognology.
Minority Report is here. Sort of, kind of, not really. But we are attempting
we have a precognition that it might be coming.
I was going to say we have Tom Cruise, so that's basically we're good. We got it.
What's that? You don't want? Oh, he doesn't want to get on mic. Oh, Tom.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming by.
Oh, he's such a goof.
Hey, come on. No, come on. I only got 2 bananas left. What are you gonna? Come on. What am I gonna eat for breakfast? Tom Cruise, you're a dick.
You said he was going to come out
Took
on
my
our
last 2
podcast.
bananas. What a
tell you. And then he comes over and steals a banana.
Ugh.
Typical Hollywood.
The Mind Research Network in Albuquerque, New Mexico, released a study. They took neuroimaging data from criminals who had been released and surveyed them. They did a volunteer study of 96 adult male criminals, aged 20 to 52. They did brain scans of them while they were completing a series of mental tests.
I mentioned this is like the bad egg machine in Willy Wonka. Stay in prison, bad egg.
Well, what all they did is they collected data. They did some scans, and then they checked back to see how many of them were recidivists, how many of them are back in jail, did things like that.
So wait a second. Did they know that they were participating in the study? Because maybe the ones who were recidivists who were released and committed crimes did it in the name of science. because they knew
They wanted to fudge the
that
results.
they had to. It was their duty
To what?
to commit crimes.
I don't want to commit any more crime, but I'd hate to let down those scientists.
No. What they wanted to do was match up the brain scans with the people who did bad. And if all the brain, so it's not like somebody looked at the brain scan like, wow, that looks like there's a lot of red in that.
Looks like
what do you
I
call that?
should be
a temporal lobe. So
I should be committing more crimes.
Listen, Johnson.
Looks of this MRI.
I'm no scientist, but I see a lot of red there.
It would listen when you get out. It would really help us if you could commit a few more crimes.
We're trying to get some funding, and if it could not hurt.
That's from the Institute of Talking Out of the Side of Your Mouth. If you get a gun, you don't get a gun. You steal a gun. It could really help us out.
They're studying impulsive and antisocial behavior, and they're looking primarily
at comedy clubs. Whoa! Thank you.
The anterior cingulate cortex, which is a portion of the brain that deals with regulatory behavior and impulsivity. You find that a lot in criminals. Basically, they're okay. Here it is. Everybody
low impulse control. Basically, is what it
like
is.
all day long, I want to murder. That is a fucking fact. I just want to kill everybody that I come near. But
Dave, we're near him.
He's taking a few shots at me, but his cingulate cortex is just evolved enough to.
It's keeping tabs on these impulses.
That's good.
That's what it's supposed to do.
He usually just wings me.
What they found, because you have the stories about the guy who had a pole rammed through his brain and a portion of his brain got knocked out, and all of a sudden he couldn't feel feelings and that sort of thing. So what they found is,
but he became a brilliant lover.
Or a fisherman. He got a pole stuck through his head.
It was a great
fishing pole.
I assumed it was not a fishing pole.
Every time he nodded, it was just he cast. So he just got good at it. When this portion of the brain, the ACC, is damaged, the people tend to be disinhibited, apathetic, aggressive. So they've been studying this part of the brain, and they found that people who had low activity in this area are the ones who tended to end up back in jail. So we're not to the point yet where we can say, like, do a brain scan and go, well, you're going to stay in jail because, we're pretty sure you're going to do crimes. But it's helping.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
It's creating a body of data, and there may come a point where, because right now it's still kind of hit or miss.
Because if they could see what was going on in my brain, there's no way I would be free.
Murder, pot, murder, pot.
Murder pot.
But people who are damaged in that area, not just mildly functioning or just not
underdeveloped.
Yeah. People who are straight up damaged, then there might be a reason why you would want to consider that in sentencing. Why not? If someone has a history of doing bad things, that's data that we use.
Yeah.
And if someone has a biological predilection to doing bad things.
Well, now we're getting into here what scientists call a gray area.
Kind of a fuzzy, herky-jerky, winchy area, as the doctors would say.
Which races would you say have the best interior cingulate control?
Would you say...
Show me white people.
Oh, white? Okay, cool, great. So we'll let them out. And would you say that maybe maybe bad people would be?
It's not that you're black. It's just that you and every one of your people has very low impulse control.
According to this team of white scientists.
Bacterio-bromatology.
You guys, I would just die without my caffeine in the morning. Know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
I get you, man.
Chacho here with Chan and our guest Ben Zelevansky. There is a strain of bacteria
Yay!
that eats caffeine
Yay!
and dies with the lack of caffeine.
Is that the Chachamus perfolius?
And there are 3 of them at this table.
It likes a nice joint before bed, too.
This is a very specific bacteria.
Guys, it's not a bacteria. I'm trying to confess something about me. And
It was actually genetically engineered by some Austin Texans
Yeah.
from UT.
who are just being dickbags. Let us play God and create an organism that will die without caffeine.
Loves caffeine so much it will
hilarious.
Die without a buzz.
Is this from the PepsiCo Foundation for Scientific Research?
We're breeding human beings to be more attracted to our brand.
Yeah. It's the Entenmann's Laboratories.
So actually, this is an E. coli bacteria, a common bacteria, but they genetically engineered it to metabolize caffeine, and they made it so that when the caffeine supply is done, so is the bacteria. They tested it. They put some in some Red Bull, and basically it just eats the shit out of all the caffeine and then dies, and you have caffeine-free Red Bull.
That's horrible. Or what, the greatest thing?
Or awesome.
Wait a minute, why would you?
You have a caffeine-free Red Bull full of dead bacteria.
Yes.
How about you just not put the caffeine into the Red Bull in the first place?
The worst of both worlds.
To add it in the...
But where this comes in handy, and we've talked about this on this podcast before, is our caffeinated oceans. And especially,
I was about to joke, what, there's going to be a big caffeine spill? And I was like, oh, yeah, that's actually a thing
that's actually a thing. In fact, around cities, it's not just oceans, but lakes, rivers, any waterways around major cities, and especially near Starbucks, are really caffeinated these days.
There's
water supply?
There's larger concentrations of caffeine. There's concentrations of antidepressants because you take these things and you pee them out.
Yeah.
And where does it go? It goes into the sewers, which then just gets dumped into the ocean.
Wow.
Yep.
So we're having problems with fish coming back, with pharmaceuticals
bags under their eyes.
Also, there's cocaine and weed smoke in Italy, but that's a different story.
Totally different.
And in Dave's room.
Yeah, so the idea is this might be a environmental engineering way of dealing with the caffeinated ocean problem.
But leaving the pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
If I got to have something in my water.
The Prozac, because we might need that later.
Happy fish. Happy fish are delicious fish.
But we got plenty of caffeine, so
let's get rid of this caffeine
business. Work on eating that up.
But now, wait a minute. How is it that in other words, we drink caffeine, we excrete it in our various systems, it ends up in the water supply. Now we're putting bacteria in there to eat up that same caffeine.
What's going to eat the bacteria?
Well, what does it just then vanish?
Was an old lady who swallowed a fly.
Well, I mean, I guess when bacteria dies, it just breaks down and
swallowed the bird,
and everything's gone.
Returns to dust, I guess. Right?
I don't know why she swallowed the fly.
I don't know that much about.
Are we going to clog our waterways with the corpses of our dead bacteria?
Yeah. I mean, not that filling our drinking water full of bacteria sounds like a bad idea, but
the streets will run brown with dead single-celled organisms.
You don't have a Brita? Come on, man. We've got technology to take care of that.
That's true. That's a good point. Can they invent something that's going to eat that huge trash island that's in the...
that
thing?
is a concern.
It's like that Texas-sized pilot trash.
I'm sure there are people working on
There's actually a story this week, like a teenage kid...
is going to eat all that trash? I'm sorry.
Just toss him into the water.
God bless you.
National eating champion.
We got to do something with all these fat teenagers.
We got to throw Kobayashi into the middle of the trash island.
Kobayashi on the trash island. That is a reality show that I'm starting.
I would watch it.
I'm pitching it.
And is it really that much less healthy than those hot dogs? I trust the content of the trash pile more than the average hot dog.
African geothermology.
We are prepared to harness the burning molten Earth's core.
Oh,
all right, but why the yelling?
Because it's the most awesome thing in the world.
Just popped out of my ears.
In terms of, when you're talking energy, you got your solar energy, you've got your wind energy, you've got your water-powered wheels, and you have geothermal energy, which is powered by lava.
Oh, yeah.
Molten rock. How fucking badass is that?
Are we at a truck pull?
Not even. No, see, okay. Here's the thing. It's super badass because it's
agreed
because there's nuclear power or there's lava power. But not only that, pollution free, sustainable, extremely reliable. These are all of the things that we want in our alternative energy sources, and we use precious little of this resource.
and all we need is active volcanoes to do it.
Gosh, where can we find active volcanoes? I don't know, maybe a ring of fire? If only we lived near
Johnny
a ring
Cash
of fire.
knew it.
Oh, wait. We're in California, and we live on a ring of fire.
I feel into burning.
Oh, you better stop. You have to pay for that.
Actually, what we're talking about today is East Africa, where there is also a rift that goes for 6,400 kilometers down East Africa. There's this area
just found
here,
a cool
the Indian
map of
plate,
it on
the African
Google.
plate, the Arabian plate. Eventually, this part of East Africa is going to shear off from Africa proper and become an island.
Chase down Madagascar.
That
Now, what-
rift is spreading out at about, an inch or two, or a centimeter or two, I think,
It's
per year.
2 centimeters a year or something.
Yeah.
So how long are they estimating before it is? I
Oh,
mean, it's
it'll-
going to be
Yeah,
tens of thousands of
Thursday.
years,
No,
or
millions, tens of millions,
Millions.
hundreds
Oh,
of
my
millions
God.
of
Okay.
years. It's going to be a long time.
Sometime in August, maybe.
but August,
August.
Tens of millions of years from now in August.
In
a
August.
Thursday in August, 10 million years from now.
I'm going to set an alarm.
Basically, what you have to do is find magma that is close to the surface, which you're going to get in a place like that, because that's what volcanoes are. It's magma at the surface, comes up. And you have to find groundwater nearby. And what happens is you drill there, and then the steam, and it powers turbines. So basically, you're not putting anything in, you're not burning anything. It's just all already there, and you're just harnessing that energy. So
I
that's
didn't
what
realize there's so many active volcanoes
Oh, yeah.
in Africa.
No, I didn't
I know
realize that
almost
either.
nothing about Africa because I don't care.
Well, here's one of the biggest problems.
Like a good American.
One of the biggest problems with this is that
You're supposed to at least know how Africa could be exploited for our gain.
Oh, right.
As a good American.
yeah, so
This-
let's
this
go
is-
over there and get a lot of the native population. to
Let's
do
go
some
steal their
work.
volcanoes and bring them back here.
Oh no, volcano ships.
I got myself a volcano plantation.
But now this concerns me a little bit, and you should correct me where I'm dumb. But like this, it sounds a little like fracking, doesn't it? Where we are, natural gas is just there below the surface, but when you take it out, stuff starts to collapse.
Well, not
So if you take, in other words, so we've got existing lava, and we're going to dump some nearby water on it and create steam.
well,
The
that's
problem
thing
with
is-
fracking is I think that they push other
Oh, they shoot stuff
toxic
into the
shit
to get the
down
gas out.
in there
Oh,
to get the
okay.
gas out.
And one of the ways you can harness geothermal energy, because part of the problem is it's in Africa, so there's not a lot of water to begin with. What you don't want to do is pour it in a bunch of water and inject it into the earth, and it comes spitting out of steam. You can do that. And in the United States, it's not as big of a problem. There are more researchers, so that is a possibility. But in Africa, you kind of have to find the spots that have the magma and the water already there.
It's a lot more work to force the water in and then get the steam out.
So there are potentially just naturally existing locations where
Right.
this could, but we'll still have to do something. We'll still have to knock out a wall somewhere.
Yeah, we'll just drill down to it. And the problem right now is...
We pull water out of the ground all the time, so it's not that big a deal. I mean, like
Yeah, I guess that's true.
we've had wells for a long time, and that's worked out okay.
The issue basically is that it's hard to find those places.
Right.
You have to go searching for them, and then you might dig down, and it turns out there's nothing there, so you have to start all over again, but it costs a bunch of money to do that.
You need really good dowsing rods.
Yeah.
But now, is it that much more
Powerful
costly
psychics.
than exploring for oil the same way? Well, you must have to oil. Looking for oil is all about soil samples, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
how do you guess where these pockets of water are?
Surface studies, exploratory drilling, all these sorts of things, similar to oil. And here's the thing, Iceland is doing that. Iceland is on a place where there's a lot of geothermal energy and there's a lot of water. So most of Iceland is powered by geothermal power. And most of that was funded by the government. And now it's a booming economy because that funding was happening. East Africa, they're generally doing other things with their money, like bribing people and murdering people.
Yeah.
And
So
not doing anything with the government.
right.
I mean, they sort of like the libertarian hands-off, do whatever you want style. Not so good for exploiting natural resources.
Yeah, but for exploiting other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah. It's
Exploiting
Rape City, USA over there.
piracies.
Yeah.
Piracies? For pirating?
Okay, so we think that where this chunk of Africa is eventually going to break off, we think it's that will happen because these conditions exist, or it's just a coincidence that is where.
Well, no, that's where you look. You look for rifts, and the problem is most of those rifts rifts are deep underwater, like in the middle of the Atlantic, and that sort of thing.
Titanicsville, I call it.
Yes. That's what sank the Titanic.
Yeah. Now, is that true?
Geothermal rift.
Oh, this is an exclusive, I think.
So the problem basically is that it's difficult to get into those war-torn areas and drive around in your Jeep looking for geothermal energy because eventually someone will pull you over and murder you.
Yeah.
But
at least they pull you over. I mean,
it's a courtesy.
Safety first.
Before they cut your head off and rape your neck.
Please pull to the side of the road and be murdered. There's no good place.
I'm just going to keep going. At the University of Bristol, Julia Biggs, what she did is she actually studied satellite data because they're taking pictures, and what they do is they are able to find depressions in the surface, which is they know from other places like Iceland that means that there's magma right underneath there. So they're actually finding ways to find where those good places are to search.
So they're
for geothermal energy,
being smarter about where they're test drilling, basically, right?
Yeah, it makes it more economically feasible. And for example, a lot of those areas, about 7% have 7% of the population have electricity. So if you get more people powered up and whatnot, then maybe you can reduce some of the incidents of these terrible wars going on. Because prosperity will follow.
It's just too bad that we don't live in a country that's willing to forcibly invade another country to meet its energy needs.
Here's the problem. Oil can be put into barrels and taken to other places.
Like steam.
Steam,
right? No?
Not so much.
Huh?
We put steam into barrels. Wait a minute, where'd our steam go? We paid for steam. We flew these things a week and a half to get over here, and now we just have empty barrels.
I heard the Bilderberg Group was building a steam pipeline all the way from Somalia to the United States.
Oh, there you go. I'll invest in that.
The U.S. now gets about 3.3 gigawatts from geothermal power, but it's possible that there's up to 3,000 gigawatts available in the U.S. So
Gigawatts!
1.21 gigawatts!
Now, my understanding is that's how much is in a lightning bolt. Is that true? There's no way to know where lightning is going to strike. That's the problem.
Unless you're from the future.
Clock tower. So basically what I'm saying is we need to wire up all the old clock towers in the United States.
Get Christopher Lloyd on this.
Yeah, a gigawatt is about a medium-sized nuclear power plant of output. Wow. And if we can find more places, there are already a few geothermal plants in the U.S., most of them in the Southwest, obviously, because of Ring of Fire. Hello. But
there must be some downside to this, don't you think? Isn't there?
It's just expensive.
No, but I mean like some consequence that we're not yet aware of, or something where...
No, there is
lava beast.
There's a slight chance of lava men crawling up out of the depths of the mantle of the Earth.
Yeah, so that's it. So we're saying by slight chance, we're saying like 80%.
I'm hoping that by then we'll have developed the swarm robots to be able to just
a few lava beasts.
But can they
take away my funding?
Can they be put to work on labor farms?
Work on my lava beast plantation. They work for nothing.
I can't wait to see the movie that Quentin Tarantino makes about that.
Lava beast plantation.
There was a time when people were like, well, we'll just keep belching smoke into the atmosphere and it should be fine.
Right.
Or we'll just keep sucking fossil fuels. As a culture, I don't think foresight is our strong suit. So I always wonder if something sounds too good to be true.
Too much of the Earth's core's energy out, I don't think.
Yeah, it's not like we're digging in and pulling lava out. The lava is there. The lava is hot. And we put things on it.
The energy's already coming out, so it's like...
It doesn't reduce
It's just like putting a cap on the energy that's coming
already
out on
exists.
its own.
Yeah, it's like shaking up a bottle of Coke.
We're not going to...
The energy's still there.
We're not going to empty the Earth's core, and eventually it'll collapse in on itself.
No, eventually we will figure out that technology.
Okay.
And it'll be awesome. And it's like, dude, yeah, why don't we just dig out the Earth's core? Don't worry about the Van Allen belt and the magnetic shield that we have protecting us from...
I'm going to be 3/4 of the way to Proxima Centauri by that point, so... Fuck it!
It's time for a quiz.
It's time for a quiz. We're back here with special guest Ben Zelevansky.
Hello, everyone.
And as you will recall, last episode we got 3 out of 5, which is not really great.
I don't recall that. I seem to remember it being a
third best thing we could get.
We got in the top 3 scores.
Yeah. That's a bronze medal.
Out of 1, we got top 3. So we are going to do another 5 questions. You guys ready?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Here we go. Question 1. What is a porifera? Oh, Jesus Christ. A, two-layered organism with pores.
Oh, a periphery.
Oh, that probably makes more sense. Yeah, that sounds like a real word now. A periphery. B, a hollow digestive cavity. C, a segmented body organism. Or D, a thread-like parasite.
What's a two-layered organism?
Like a Napoleon, like a pastry in 2 layers. Is this like multiple layers?
As opposed to like a club sandwich, which would be a 3-layered organism.
Right.
What kind of organism is like a 7-layer dip?
That would be a beanophora.
Humus.
So, periphery.
Periphery.
2-layered organism with pores, hollow digestive cavity, a segmented body organism, or a thread-like parasite.
I'm going to say parasite.
I feel like that sounds kind of familiar.
That pore answer is there to throw us off, right? I assume the one that actually has the pores.
It's a
in it.
fur animal.
Although a two-layered organism with pores is so specific, it's almost like,
Peripheral.
why would they make that up? Mm-hmm. You can't make up answers like this. Although I have a feeling that all of these answers are answers to some other questions.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
No, I don't think so.
It was last
but
episode.
that was not that was not my experience with the rest of this stupid ass program.
I'm going with parasite.
I'll take the obvious answer with the pores. I'm playing it safe.
Well, we have to pick one for us to agree on.
That's right.
But we could go with pores if...
I don't know. I feel like parasite.
We have to beat 3 out of 5,
heard,
right? So.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, boy.
I feel like I've heard of a parasite called a periphery before.
All right, I'm with periphery then. I mean, yeah.
Although, to be fair, it doesn't say that the first one isn't a parasite.
Yeah, that could be.
That would be mean. That would just be mean.
All right.
Let's say parasite.
Let's go with parasite.
Incorrect. What is the correct answer? A 2-layered organism with pores.
You motherfuckers.
An example.
I swear to God.
An example is a sponge. So, yeah, now we know. Mm-hmm. And
some of us knew in the first place.
question 2. What are the defining characteristics of Coelenterata? Oh, boy.
Oh.
Ooh.
Cripes.
Coelenterata. Coelenterata.
One of the defining characteristics is that it's hard to spell.
Coelenterata. A transparent body. B, 2 layers of cells with hollow digestive cavity. Ooh. C, a thread-like body. Or D, limpet-like organism with a shell on top. Because it's
Like the Incredible
coelacanth.
Mr.
Right. Isn't that like some kind of a crustacean?
It's a
there?
trilobite-type creature.
Coelacanth? Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it look like that?
A limpet-like organism. Kind of.
Limpet, is that like one of those, it's like a sucker kind of a thing? Or,
Yeah. So that's a definite possibility.
See, they could have put in a decoy answer about it having something to do with a seal. People would have gone for that.
There's another 2 layers answer. Are you sure you don't want to grab that one again?
Is the topic of this quiz 2-layered things?
2-layered things.
Organisms. I should have read the topic ahead of time.
I'm going to go with C, an open-faced sandwich.
That would be a Clubiterata. A transparent body, 2 layers of cells with hollow digestive cavity, a thread-like body, limpet-like organism with a shell on top.
I like that limpet-like.
Yeah.
I think that's the one.
Let's go with limpet.
Here we go. Incorrect. Oh, boy. 2 layers of cells with hollow digestive cavity. Come on!
2 layers.
They have tentacles with stinging cells. Some examples of Coelenterata are hydra, jellyfish, coral, and sea anemone.
Oh, like Medusa.
Oh, man. Question
now,
3.
you guys can check my math on this, but at this point, it's going to be difficult to beat 3 out of 5.
It's oh boy, yeah. I just looked at the next question. It's these are
Another made-up word.
What are the defining characteristics of Platyhelminthes? Platyhelminthes.
I'm going to say it has 2 layers.
Can we just scrap this and go back to Trivial Pursuit, please?
This is basically what we're doing. This is an experiment in random guessing.
We're doing science here. We are learning valuable things. Like, did you know that all those things like hydra and jellyfish were in the same family?
No, I've already forgotten.
And I don't want to know. It's just random consonants scrunched together in an algorithm.
An algorithm called Latin.
Oh, hey, guess what, guys? There's another 2 layers answer here, so I know what my answer is already.
Is the topic of this 2 layered things, or is it potpourri.
There's another limpet-like thing, too.
limpets.
Go read the question. I'm looking over your shoulder.
Wait. What's the thing? What's the...
Yes.
A limpet-like organism with a shell on top. B, 2 layers of cells with hollow digestive cavity. C, a transparent body. Or D, flattened dorsoventrally with 3 layers of cells.
So a helminth is a worm, right?
Sure.
We've covered.
I've never heard.
We've remember we did hellmouth jokes.
I was wondering when
that sounds like something that I would have done. Yeah.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer little tangent we went on because we started on a story about helminths, which are little flatworms, I believe, possibly very tiny. So platyhelminthes. So is that
some kind of a... What is it?
Something with a duck bill.
It's a platypus worm.
It's a flat duck bill.
So which one of those answers sounds most worm-like?
Flattened dorsoventrally with 3 layers of cells. That seems pretty simple.
That sounds good.
A limpet-like organism with a shell on top.
No.
No shell, yeah.
No shell.
No shell.
2 layers is the last question. So.
Yeah, that was
2 layers of cells with a hollow digestive. I'm going to say D, the flattened...
Dorsoventrally with 3 layers of cells.
Yeah.
We got one! Yay! It is among parasites such as tapeworm, planaria, and liver fluke.
All right.
Man.
My uncle had liver fluke. It's very serious.
Yeah.
I like it fried up with some onions.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad.
What are the defining characteristics of nematoda? A, flattened dorsoventrally with 3 layers of cells. B, flat circular parasites with a transparent body. C, thread-like parasites with a digestive tract with 2 openings. D, 2 layers of cells with hollow digestive cavity. Nematodes are parasites. I believe ringworm is one of them.
That sounds right. So it's probably like a thread-like parasite, maybe?
All I know is if you like it, you can put a ringworm on it.
Ew.
Listen, don't blame me. I'm just repeating something I heard on the radio.
Beyonce-toda.
What are the defining characteristics of the Beyonce-toda?
I don't know because I'm not ready for that jelly. Flat circular parasite with transparent body or thread-like parasite with digestive tract with 2 openings.
I'm saying thread. I think it's thread-like.
Say the term one more time. The
nematoda. I think it's that 2-opening one as well.
I'm going to say it's a 2-assed thread.
Which is what in Latin nematoda means.
Yes, 2-assed thread.
Yes, 2-assed thread.
Yeah, I'm with you guys 100%.
See what we get. Correct.
Oh,
yeah. Now we're cooking with gas.
And each of these questions was worth 2 points, right? So
some examples are hookworm, ascarius, and trichinoworm.
Sure they are.
So, yeah.
All right. This is question 10.
This is the last one.
Oh, God.
We have 5 over the 2 episodes. We have 5 out of 9.
What are the defining characteristics of Annelida? A, long and cylindrical body with segments.
Heard of that.
B, 2 layers of cells with hollow digestive cavity. C, flattened dorsoventrally with 3 layers of cells. Or D, flattened circular parasites with transparent body.
So an annelid is what was the first one?
A long and cylindrical body with segments. So basically a sandworm from Dune.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, I like sandworm.
Are we going to go with the Muad'Dib answer?
Yeah, harvest the spice. That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I
got one.
Oh. Species have a nervous system and closed circulatory system. Some examples are the earthworm, sandworm, and leech.
And sarlacc, I think, is also.
I believe that is a nematode.
You might be right.
You guys, we got another 3. We got 6 out of 10.
Awesome.
Which
60%. 60%.
USA. Look at it this way: we lost no ground.
Honestly, they were very difficult questions. So we're all learning something.
Good for guessing random sequences of consonants.
I just did what I did on the SATs. I filled in C for everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just right down the middle.
You got to break it down. You got to use your brain. You got to, like, you hear fragments of words and put it together and then make educated guesses.
Oh, those kinds.
So, 6 out of 10. We're doing okay.
Nice.
We're okay. And we're becoming more moral. So
That's what it's all about.
We will all win in the end.
I'm going to punch everybody.
Spam wars. Spam wars.
There's a war going on in our internets.
Oh.
Chacho here with Chan and Ben Zelevansky. There was, quote unquote, the biggest cyber attack in history just a few days ago. And what seems to be happening is a large spamming operation from a Dutch web hosting company and a vigilante anti-spam company called Spam House are having a cyber war.
Yeah.
And they were online. They're like attacking each other, so much so that the entire internet of Western Europe slowed down for a while on March 27th, which is like 2 days ago. Or was it yesterday? Very recently, a few weeks ago, depending on how diligent we are about editing this podcast. So, yeah, they have something called a distributed denial of service attack, which is
a DDoS.
DDoS,
Yeah.
which is where, one company just spams the hell out of a particular DNS server. DNS server is like the post office routers on the internet. And if you know what you're doing, you can just target one and keep asking it for hundreds of gigabits of information constantly until it's so overwhelmed it can't do anything else. Then the company's internet is ostensibly choked to death. And so this spam company and this anti-spam company are DDoSing each other over the internet, and it's causing so much traffic that it's actually noticeably slowed down Netflix service, I guess.
All right, now they've crossed a line.
Right, exactly. Because I'm almost to the end of the first season of Angel, and I just cannot.
This will not stand
for this fucking vigilante anti-spam Batman to win their little war online.
I hate spam, but can we all agree that to be an anti-spam vigilante is one of the lamest kind of vigilantes you can be?
Well, I mean, it's no Batman, but I mean, this is a Batman's old hat. I mean, he's been around.
You better not let him hear you say that. He will kick your ass.
Bring it, you son of a bitch. Come on, I know who you are. Shh, come on.
Edit that out.
How would you,
His loved ones.
How would you feel if you were the spammer that murdered the parents of the anti-spam
Grew up to found
vigilante?
Spam House.
I've created...
A spam is what I will become.
Now, that's my second question. Spam House,
Created me
HOUSE or HAUS?
HAUS.
I knew it. I hate them.
Yep.
So in other words, they're saying that the anti-spam side is saying, we'll cut you down, and now the spam side is saying, screw you. This is just like a pissing contest between these two companies. Is that it?
More or less. I think it's more. It seems like it's more the spam company attacking the anti-spam company. I hope it was anonymous. I love those guys.
Yeah.
Did you hear me, anonymous? I love those guys.
What, like in a gateway? Fuck you. Burn him to the ground.
No. Platonic.
Oh, nuts.
There are actually reports that are coming in now suggesting that the entire thing is a hoax. There is a cyber war. It is probably not the biggest in history. Gizmodo did some looking around at some traffic, and it looks like the slowdown wasn't that big.
It wasn't like you couldn't keep watching porn.
No. I mean, that is the last thing that goes down on the internet. So and
the
they think it might be like a PR
that
stunt.
Two warring corporations can put a dent in the entire Western Hemisphere's data network is a little concerning.
Yeah.
So the question is, can some really lame, evil supervillain online nerd do a DDoS attack?
What? Whoa, are you saying they're anonymous or a bunch of supervillain nerds?
Wow.
No, not anonymous.
Dude,
I love anonymous.
Oh, boy.
Platonically. Love them.
Oh, boy. You know what's funny is that this is the kind of stuff that it's the less sexy it is, the more terrifying it is. Because it's something that has these far-reaching implications. If anything's going to get people out into the streets, It's going to be the internet going down like that. The whole main point of the internet is to keep us all pacified and relaxed and happy.
If somebody imagine
eventually-
all of Western Europe just like rubbing their eyes and walking outside and going, "Oh, what is that? That bright object in the sky?"
What? We're all bankrupt?
If somebody did a Fight
the
Club
hell?
thing and shut down the internet, then yeah, it would be pandemonium, and we would quickly slide into Beyond Thunderdome.
I mean, I always heard when I was in college that the internet is built to withstand nuclear war. It's unkillable.
Right.
It
It's distributed.
It will outlive civilization.
Well, maybe.
It might. I mean,
As soon as civilization turns off their power
I think
plants.
we could more easily kill off the human population of Earth than we can kill off the internet
Yeah, but I mean, eventually the machines would stop running. They'd run out
or
of-
take over.
Yeah,
But
if
I
they're
mean,
swarming.
the problem is the internet was built before we knew the best way to build the internet, right?
Right.
So the DNS system is kind of outdated. It's from the '60s when it was just two offices at U of I or somewhere, just like
Playing
sending
Pong.
data back and forth, and it worked great then, and it still works pretty great, but it's not infallible. It's hard to plan a billion node network when you have two nodes,
Yeah, but I mean,
you
now
can
we know.
only
You know,
do-
I mean, it's like remember all the hoopla about the year 2000, and it was going to be everyone programmed everything with
Y2K?
Yeah, exactly. Right. There was a lot of uproar about that, and a lot of energy put into. Oh, we better put all those other two digits in, and then ultimately nothing really.
How do you know?
You want to feel good about yourself?
I do
Desperately.
desperately.
There are kids in the 6th grade right now
Yeah,
that have no idea what you're talking about because they weren't even born in the year 2000.
but they should still know. I know about stuff that happened before I was born. Some things.
Name one.
I'm going to say Christmas. Is that a thing?
That's our show.
And that's our show. Thank you very much to our very special guest star, Mr. Ben Zelevansky.
So special. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
My pleasure. What a lot of fun.
Thanks. Where can the audience find you if they're looking for you?
My house,
Where's your house? Give us the address and your social security number.
123 Main Street.
We're building a blimp to put it on.
Oh my God! Fucking every guest that we've had lives at 123 Main
Yeah,
Street.
we all
Must
live
be
in
a
the same
huge house.
Well, we all hear each other on the podcast, and you know,
Okay.
we develop a relationship and end up moving in together.
Wish you guys would have us over.
Nope. No room. You can find me on Twitter at Ben Zelevansky. You can find me in reruns of some of your favorite television shows.
When's Don't Trust the Bee ending? Is it over?
Oh, it's ended.
Is it done?
It is.
That was a fun little
a good
series.
show.
It was a fun show. It was getting better, getting stronger.
Yeah.
From my career perspective, it was getting much better. But unfortunately, millions of people didn't agree.
Well, there's about 100 casting agents listening to this, ready to hire you for the next sitcom with a swear word in its name that is censored.
Stuff my dad says. Is that still on?
You dash
Nope,
dash.
that is also canceled. Fuck My Mother, though, I think is coming up next week. It's a reality show where...
I'm actually pitching a pilot called "Go Fuck Yourself, You Shit-Eating Dirtbag."
Oh, nice.
That's going to
A
be
lot of stars
Don't
and ampersands.
yourself, you eating dirt. Dirt.
I'm pitching it to Nickelodeon.
You can find us online at jerks.com. We're at the Science Jerks on Twitter. We're on Facebook. Visit our website and
We're all the fuck over the place.
yeah. Sign up for
Everyone,
Audible. and we'll-
rate the podcast on iTunes.
yeah,
would you?
review the
Would you
shit
write a
out of
nice
Rating,
review, a
give us a
favorable review, a
review.
5-star review?
That'd be nice.
If you don't like the show, basically
tell your
go fuck
friends.
yourself.
No, absolutely.
Bias
Put a
stick.
review saying that we're terrible.
Go
don't
fuck
just
yourself.
leave the stars. Like, actually tell us why we're terrible, because I will probably get
Yeah.
more enjoyment out of that than I will somebody telling us we're okay.
And if you like a particular guest more than other guests,
Oh, absolutely.
anyone.
Asterios Kokinos was on. He was fantastic.
It was. We've had some great guests in the
Oh
past.
yeah, or like
Not
Rebecca
familiar.
Lieb.
Not
She was
familiar with her.
great.
She was-
I don't know.
yeah.
but if there was
I don't
one
know,
guest
but,
that really
Lauren was really
Oh, you mean
stood
like
out.
Tim Neenan? He was fantastic.
Oh,
He was
last week's guest.
really
Sure,
funny.
most of them
I
are
really
fine,
liked
but if
them.
you
Benny
just
Arthur,
find-
remember what we had a
Oh, my
blast
God,
with
he
Benny
was such a
Arthur.
delight.
certainly
He was a
there would be
wonderful
one
human being.
guest that
Really
just
funny.
stood out as someone who really.
I can't think of anybody else.
Yeah, that's
offhand,
pretty much.
really.
That's all we have.
I'm not coming back ever.
I'm at Dave Chacho on Twitter.
I'm at 999 RPMs. And thanks for listening. Thanks for coming. And
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for us being amazing
No,
people.
no, thank you guys.
Thank
And can I just say, thanks, science.
Yeah, you know what? We never remember to thank
you.
science.
Should. Thank you, science.
Thank you, science.
Thank you, Allah.
Murder, 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 murder. Pot, murder, pot.
Murder pot, murder pot, murder pot, murder pot.